Hello and welcome back to the Branch of One Summit. Thank you so much for coming back. And I'm joined here now with Jens from Wacker Chemie. Jens, hello, and thank you for joining us today. If you wouldn't mind, please, just to take some time to introduce yourself, your role at Wacker Chemie, and of course, a little bit about the company.
Yeah, thank you for your invitation. And yeah, maybe a few words about the Wacker Chemie, Wacker Chemical. We are a chemical manufacturing company. We have around about 15,000 employees worldwide. And yeah, we have production facilities worldwide, and we have more than 60 sales offices and technical centers worldwide. And we're dealing mainly with chemical base productions like silicones, polymers, biochemicals. It's a basis for the mRNA vaccines, and also polysilicon. And so this means every second computer chip on this world is based on Wacker's polysilicon, which is quite impressive. And yeah, to me, I'm started nearly 20 years ago now at Wacker. And I had several positions in the past: operations manager for site, IT site, and meanwhile, I'm the enterprise architect and the global project manager for the complete area of unified communication. And I'm dealing with unified communication stuff now since also more than 20 years. And yeah, so that's my role. And maybe a short side note also. Within Wacker unified communication, we was always a little bit early adopter in any topics. When we talk about rolling out IP telephony, we started very early. We started with using meeting platforms like WebEx already in 2008, and in 2012 we decided to reinvent video conferencing for Wacker. And yeah, so that's our journey so far.
Well, isn't that interesting? So as an early adopter, I guess my question for you is, 2 years ago when the bombshell of COVID landed on world corporations, there were two types, or maybe more than two types of companies, but companies like yours, early adopter, really progressive in digital meetings. And then there were others who had, suddenly thrust into this world of remote working. How was it for you 2 years ago when everything unraveled, workers were sent home to work from home, and there were all the COVID restrictions?
Overall, it was really crazy, because I knew I was in Munich on Friday on a business trip, and on Monday afterwards anything was closed down. Anyone had to work from home, and all of our people who were able to work from home or have to work from home, and yeah, it was really crazy so far. But the good thing was for us at Wacker, we was a little bit prepared, because already in 2019 we changed our strategy, and our big goal at this time was the strategy: anywhere, anyone, at any device. So we always had this strategy to give anyone the availability to join a meeting online, or to use any device to join a meeting online. And so this helped us a lot. And we within this strategy change, we also started a big user adoption program to support this cultural change. That every meeting is an online meeting. Wasn't that in 2019, but we prepared this, and yeah, this helped us a lot. But of course, it was strange. Many people did not have a notebook or laptop or something like that. They hooked their big desktop PCs, put it at home in a corner of their kitchen, and worked from there. Yeah? And of course, many providers, and also local internets and local Wi-Fi's wasn't prepared for that, and there was a quite journey to handle stable connections. But yeah, it was really interesting times, and so from one day of the other, was a digital change.
Yeah.
No one did expect it.
Yeah, exactly. And I guess during that process, you must have learned a lot about the environment that was so new, and what was legacy systems and processes supporting your employees who were in a branch office now suddenly becoming a branch office. What changed in that space, like around operational things? What did you have to change and adapt and move?
A stable infrastructure is the key for success anyway. Yeah, you need stable VPN connections to your on-prem systems, and you have to use cloud services as many you could, because then you don't have this traffic flow through your company. And this whole change pushed these infrastructure changes a lot. And you need other monitoring systems. You need other strategies, other designs to shape your traffic, to monitor your traffic scenarios.
What kind of was the migration from we have a bunch of monitoring tools to we're going to need something like ThousandEyes? What was that catalyst?
Yeah, so quite at the beginning of this change, we had a lot of tickets and calls where the user complained, "Hey, my WebEx didn't work," or "I can't open the SharePoint file," and all of this. And when you look deeper into that, you know, no, it's not SharePoint. I can open the file, or it's not WebEx meeting is going on. And so we didn't have an option to look to the local Wi-Fi, especially in the kitchen, as I mentioned. There was a big black hole in our on-prem monitoring scenarios before, which we saw then at this time, and where we had to look for some options to have a look into this black hole and see, no, it's not your local Wi-Fi. The provider has a problem in Frankfurt data center, maybe, or something like that. So you need a monitoring tool to look into the traffic from A to B. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and what also you need is the whole support scenario is changing, because when you have a first level and the user is calling the first level and say, "My SharePoint does not work," and the first level say, "Okay, I give it to the SharePoint group." But it's completely wrong, because it's not a SharePoint issue, it's an infrastructure issue, or maybe a provider issue, something like that. So the whole ticket routing will bounce days until it comes to the responsible person. Yeah, and this has to change as well.
And I guess so. Having heard all of that, if you kind of look back now on that time, what if you were going to highlight a few things that either were big learnings or big surprises for Wacker Chemie? What would they be, perhaps?
Yeah, one big surprise is that video becomes usual within days. Yeah, and this was really impressive. And so town halls, we had digital town halls right from the beginning, with much more participants than we would ever have with an on-premise town hall. And we did see, hey, we can reach 500 participants on a global basis at once, and we saw that so information was flowing much faster around the globe, and we never thought that this would be possible. But then, yeah, we tried it, and we was really surprised about the huge amount of digital participants in such town halls. Yeah. And and of course, what really was also interesting is travel costs are going to zero immediately, and hey, it did work. Yeah, no one would believe that before, but yeah, it worked.
And did you see kind of cultural shift in the mindset of your employees? Did you ever kind of survey them or try and understand this paradigm shift in how they were working and how it affected them or their families and their extended team workings? Were there anything there that you might be able to share with the audience? Even retrospective, 2 years later, anything special that you might like to share?
Yeah, it's a big cultural change at all, and you have always participants who are digital leaders and say, yeah, it's working, it's fine. I do that. I work from home now. And you will always also have participants who say, it doesn't work. I have to be in my office, and I don't like digital meetings, and it's stressful and all this stuff. And and you have to support. It's not a technical thing. You have to support this cultural change with trainings, with changing of the mindset of the people. You have to use your digital tools. It's a need now. It's not an add-on anymore. And so you have to support this change with an adoption campaign. And at the other side, it also helps for teams who are not on one side. When you have a global team, it helps now. You have all your videos on. You see any of your colleagues on a global basis any day. And I told you that before. We now also know any cat of any colleague at home. And it's quite funny, and this has also become another nice feature in having online meetings, and it's more personal.
Yeah.
And but the basis of all is you have to support this adoption, not on a technical skill basis, also on a mindset change.
Yeah. And so I guess the burning question for me is, I mean, you mentioned this kind of incredible increase in early stage ticketing because of access issues. And obviously you can't have a remote workforce who can't communicate remotely. What would it have been like without ThousandEyes?
As I mentioned before, there was a black hole. We didn't have any chance. There was always, with these tickets, there was always a bouncing until it comes to one person who had technical knowledge to deeper analyze infrastructure, traffic flows, and analyze Wi-Fi signals on the PC at home. And it took a long time to solve these tickets. And because it was always a guess. Yeah, we had a guess. Oh, it might be your local provider, because we know there many providers had load problems at this time, and but it was always a guess. And when you look now at ThousandEyes, you can create a dashboard, simply a dashboard, where you can have access to the first level, and they can have a look and say, yeah, SharePoint is really slow from mainland China today. Or yes, in the US there are packet loss issues with WebEx meetings, and we have to deeper look to that, and we have to give the ticket to the right persons. And this helps a lot. Really, it's really huge. We still learning day by day, because you have so much advantages and so much options which you can set up. We are not at the end of our learning, but yeah, it helps a lot.
Well, thank you for those sharings. I guess as we come out to the close, the question I'm sure many of our audience's minds might be, what do you see if you had to kind of share with the audience your thinking 3 to 5 years, or even in the next 3 years? What do you think, with this remote working or flex working, home working, whatever you want to call it, what do you think the new normal might be?
So predictions is for the next 3 to 5 years are always difficult. It's more like a glass ball reading. But I think what will stay is hybrid work will stay. So no one will work full day, 5 days a week from the office. So and this is a cultural change which has already started. And that anyone also accepts, okay, you can work from home with the same quality as from the office. And so hybrid work will be definitely a thing for the next 3 to 5 years. And the change of the offices themselves will be a big deal, because offices will be more meeting areas or come together areas, and not the place where you have to do your work. Yeah? If you have to do concentrate work, you will do it at home, and you will go into the office to meet colleagues, to meet customers, or have a coffee, something like that. Yeah, offices will be more the meeting areas in the future. And what a little bit more technical stuff. What I see is on the communication side, these yes, long old ad hoc phone calls will go away, and we will have more and more also digital meetings, also one-to-one meetings. Um, uh, we're coming from ad hoc calling someone more to a scheduled one. So your schedule for the day will be more and more digital, and not so many ad hoc phone calls anymore, because we have chat. You can say, hey, when do you have time? Let's meet, and then you schedule a meeting. It's more scheduled than ad hoc. This definitely, I would say, will also stay for the next years.
Last question for me. Do you have any plans, if you haven't already, to do a kind of survey of your workforce to see where their thinking is in regard to work in the future? Is that something you might do?
We already did it.
Oh,
We just finished it last week. Because that's a big point, yeah. You have to know where you stand, or where your users are standing, from a mindset perspective, and also from a skill set perspective. And yeah, we started a big survey. We ask any Wacker employee worldwide with a questionnaire, and ask them where they think they are standing, and what they need for hybrid work. Yeah. Do they need more trainings? Do we need more technical equipment in the offices? Which indeed we need. And yeah, what also do they expect for the topic hybrid work for the next years? And I can't tell you the results in detail, because we have heavily feedback on that, and we still on yeah, reading the answers. But yeah, I'm quite interested what the outcome will be, and then of course we will set up actions on that. Yeah.
well, Jens, I'd like to say thank you so much for joining us today. It's been a great privilege to have your time. I know how busy you are and how crazy it is for you right now, but thank you so much. And I'm sure our audience got a heck of a lot of great insight from you in that period. So thank you so much for the time and for your input. And to everybody else out there, whilst you're still connected, we're going to take a short break before we come back with some more of these customer dialogues. So please do come back. We look forward to seeing you again in a short while. Thank you.